In 1961, America launched something the world had never seen. A warship powered entirely by nuclear reactors. No fuel tanks, no smokestacks, no refueling stops. Just pure, unlimited nuclear power. Driving the largest warship ever built at that time. 1,123 feet long, 93,000 tons, 8 nuclear reactors, a crew of 5,800 men. They called her the USS Enterprise. And she didn't just change aircraft carrier design. She changed what war at sea meant forever. This is the complete story of how America built her. From the first steel plate laid in Newport News to the most decorated combat carrier in United States Navy history.
When the Enterprise was commissioned in 1961, the Soviets didn't believe the intelligence reports. 8 nuclear reactors on one ship.
Welcome to full-scale manufacturing. And today, we'll see the manufacturing of the USS Enterprise Дети.
The year is 1958. The Soviet Union has just launched Sputnik. The Cold War is not a metaphor, it is a daily reality. And the United States Navy has a problem. Conventional carriers, powered by oil, need to stop and refuel every few days. In a war fought across the entire Pacific and Atlantic, that refueling stop is a vulnerability. A nuclear carrier has no such vulnerability. Newport News Shipbuilding won the contract in 1958. What they were asked to build had never been attempted before. Not just a nuclear warship, every Navy had those. A nuclear aircraft carrier. A vessel large enough to carry 90 combat aircraft, fast enough to outrun any surface threat, and powerful enough to project American military force anywhere on Earth, indefinitely, without ever stopping for fuel. The keel was laid on February 4th, 1958. 4,000 workers at Newport News began the most complex shipbuilding project in American history. The flight deck alone, 4.5 acres of steel, required 60,000 separate structural welds. Every single one inspected by hand. The hull required 75,000 tons of steel, cut, shaped, and welded into 1,123 feet of continuous structure. For scale, place the Empire State Building on its side. The Enterprise is longer. She was launched in 1960, commissioned in 1961, and from the moment she entered service, the United States Navy had a weapon unlike anything in history. A city, a weapons platform, a nuclear power plant, all moving together at 30 knots through any ocean on Earth. The USS Enterprise was not powered by one nuclear reactor. She was powered by 8. 8 Westinghouse A2W pressurized water reactors, arranged in pairs, driving 4 propeller shafts. Each reactor produced enough steam to power a small city. Together, they generated 280,000 shaft horsepower, enough to push 93,000 tons of steel and aircraft through the ocean at 33 knots, faster than most destroyer escorts of her era. The reactor compartments occupied the center third of the ship. Lead shielding, 12 inches thick in places, surrounded every reactor.
8 reactors in one ship was unprecedented. The redundancy was the point. If 2 reactors failed in combat, the ship could still make 25 knots on the remaining 6.
The reactor fuel, highly enriched uranium, was loaded before commissioning and was designed to last the ship's entire service life. She was commissioned in 1961. She was decommissioned in 2012. 51 years of operation. The reactors were refueled 3 times during her service. Each refueling required the ship to be taken out of service for 18 months. Here is what those reactors made possible. From 1961 to 2012, the Enterprise never once stopped operations because she ran out of fuel. Never once. While oil-powered carriers needed tanker support every 4 to 7 days, the Enterprise could operate indefinitely. Her only limitation, the food and supplies for her crew. This changed naval strategy completely. A carrier that never needs to stop is a carrier that cannot be predictably intercepted. And an unpredictable carrier, carrying 90 nuclear-capable aircraft, is the most powerful deterrent ever put to sea. The flight deck of the USS Enterprise covers 4.5 acres. To put that in perspective, it is larger than 3 American football fields placed side by side. And every inch of it was designed for one purpose: launching and recovering combat aircraft, continuously, in any weather, at any hour. The Enterprise carried 4 steam catapults, each one capable of accelerating a 70,000-pound combat aircraft from 0 to 165 miles per hour in 2 seconds. The forces involved are extraordinary. The catapult piston, a steel cylinder 10 inches in diameter, travels 300 feet in those 2 seconds. The steam pressure driving it, generated directly by the ship's nuclear reactors, peaks at 4,000 pounds per square inch. And the aircraft on the other end of that catapult, the pilot inside it, experiences 4G of acceleration in 2 seconds. On the recovery end, 4 arresting wires cross the landing area. Each wire is 1.25 inches of steel cable. A returning aircraft traveling at 150 miles per hour hooks one of those wires and stops in under 300 feet. The deceleration force on the aircraft and the pilot peaks at 4G. The arresting gear absorbs that energy hydraulically, a system of hydraulic rams beneath the flight deck that compress fluid to absorb the aircraft's kinetic energy. In peak operations, the Enterprise could launch and recover aircraft every 30 seconds. Around the clock, in darkness, in heavy seas. What the crew of the USS Enterprise did on that flight deck remains the most dangerous routine peacetime activity in the United States military.
People don't understand what flight deck operations actually are. At peak tempo, we were launching 1 aircraft every 30 seconds.
The USS Enterprise carried a crew of 5,800 men. 5,800. That is the population of a small American town living inside a steel hull, at sea, for months at a time. The ship contained a hospital with operating theaters, a bakery producing 15,000 loaves of bread per week, a post office, a television station, a newspaper, a jail, and enough food storage to feed 5,800 people for 90 days without resupply. The engineering required to sustain that population at sea is as complex as the weapon systems above deck. Fresh water, produced by desalination units driven by nuclear steam, at 400,000 gallons per day. The ship's electrical system, powered entirely by the nuclear reactors, produced more electricity than most small cities. The hangar deck, 3 decks below the flight deck, 740 feet long, housed the aircraft when not in operation. Maintenance was continuous. Aircraft were disassembled, repaired, and rebuilt at sea. The machine shops aboard the Enterprise could fabricate any aircraft component, from raw metal stock, allowing the ship to conduct sustained operations without returning to port for spare parts. The Enterprise was not just a weapons platform. She was a complete, self-contained civilization, moving through the ocean at 30 knots, carrying the ability to project decisive force anywhere on Earth within 96 hours of receiving the order. The USS Enterprise entered service in 1961 with the most advanced radar system ever installed on a warship. The distinctive octagonal island structure, unlike any carrier before or since, was designed specifically to house the ScanFar radar system, the first phased array radar ever installed on a ship. Traditional radar uses a rotating antenna, sweeping a beam around the horizon. The problem: a rotating antenna has gaps, moments when it is not pointing at the threat. The ScanFar system had no rotating antenna. It used 4 fixed panels, one on each face of the island structure, each panel containing thousands of individual antenna elements, electronically steered to track multiple targets simultaneously, with no gaps, no blind spots, no rotation delay. In 1961, this technology was so advanced that the Soviets spent a decade trying to reverse engineer it. For self-defense, the Enterprise carried NATO Sea Sparrow missiles, the Phalanx close-in weapon system, and the evolved Sea Sparrow in her later years. But her primary weapon was never a missile. Her primary weapon was the aircraft. 90 combat aircraft, F-14 Tomcats in her prime, each one capable of carrying nuclear weapons, gave the Enterprise a strike radius of over 1,000 miles in any direction. At sea, moving at 30 knots, invisible to most tracking. The USS Enterprise was not a defensive weapon. She was a statement. America's statement. That it could project overwhelming air power anywhere on Earth, at any time, and nobody could stop it.